In the fog-choked town of Crescent Bay, Oregon, Cliffside Manor perched on a jagged cliff, its weathered shingles battered by the Pacific's relentless roar. The year was 2025, and 82-year-old Eleanor Grayson sat in her faded velvet armchair, her gnarled hands clutching a quilt her mother had sewn decades ago. The sprawling house, built by her late husband, Thomas, was her sanctuary, a testament to their life together. But now it was a prison. Eleanor's son, Nathan, had moved to Portland for his tech startup, leaving his wife, Lauren, to care for Eleanor. Lauren, 38, with her sharp cheekbones and colder eyes, had turned that care into a calculated campaign of abuse and greed. Eleanor's days were a blur of neglect. Lauren controlled everything. The thermostat, kept just above freezing to save on bills, the pantry locked to ration Eleanor's meals to watery soup and stale crackers, and the bank account, where Eleanor's Social Security checks mysteriously vanished. "It's for Nathan's company," Lauren would say, her voice dripping with false concern. "You want him to succeed, don't you?" Eleanor's frail frame withered, her once robust 5 feet 5 inches stature now hunched, her silver hair thinning. She felt the weight of her years, her heart heavy with betrayal. The abuse wasn't just neglect. Lauren's temper flared in private moments. One rainy October evening, Eleanor spilled her soup, the bowl slipping from her trembling hands. Lauren's hand lashed out, striking Eleanor's cheek. The crack echoed in the cavernous dining room. "Clumsy old fool," Lauren spat, her manicured nails glinting under the chandelier. Blood trickled from Eleanor's split lip, staining her cardigan. She wiped it away, her silence masking the fire still burning in her soul. Lauren smirked, mistaking Eleanor's quiet for defeat. But Eleanor had secrets. In her youth she'd been a librarian, sharp-minded and meticulous, with a knack for solving puzzles. She'd noticed Lauren's late-night whispers in the study, her furtive meetings with a man in a tailored suit who drove a black SUV. One night, creeping to the stairwell in her slippers, Eleanor overheard Lauren on her phone. "She's fading fast. Once she's gone, we sell the manor. Nathan won't care. He's too busy." Eleanor's blood ran cold. Cliffside Manor, worth millions for its oceanfront view, was Lauren's endgame. The house was in Eleanor's name, a detail Lauren seemed to think she could erase. Eleanor's bedroom, a chilly attic room Lauren had banished her to, held a hidden treasure. Beneath a loose floorboard under her creaky bed lay Thomas's old leather-bound journal. It wasn't just sentimental. It contained a detailed map of the manor's quirks, including a hidden safe in the library wall. Inside that safe were Eleanor's savings, $50,000 in cash, and the original deed proving she alone owned Cliffside Manor. Lauren didn't know about it. Yet, the abuse escalated. One stormy night, as thunder rattled the windows, Lauren shoved Eleanor toward the attic stairs. "Move faster, you're wasting my time," she snarled. Eleanor stumbled, her hips slamming into the banister. Pain seared through her and blood seeped from a gash on her forearm, soaking her sleeve. She collapsed at the top of the stairs, gasping, while Lauren stormed off, muttering about finishing this soon. Eleanor crawled to her bed, her vision swimming. She wasn't just fighting for herself, she was fighting for Thomas's legacy, for the home where they'd raised Nathan, where every creak held a memory. Eleanor's mind, though, was sharp. She began to plan. She memorized Lauren's schedule, mornings at the gym, afternoons meeting the suited man, identified through a neighbor's gossip as a shady real estate lawyer named Vince Carver. Eleanor scrawled notes in the journal's margins, documenting Lauren's abuse. Dates, times, bruises. She hid the pages in the floorboard, her hands shaking but her resolve ironclad. Her chance came on a foggy November morning. Lauren left for a meeting with Carver, leaving Eleanor alone. The old woman, fueled by desperation, dragged herself to the library. Her hip throbbed, her arm still bled beneath the makeshift bandage, but she pried open the hidden safe behind a portrait of Thomas. Inside were the cash, the deed, and a letter she'd written to Nathan, detailing Lauren's cruelty and theft. She tucked them into a canvas bag, her heart pounding. She had one ally, Dr. Clara Hensley, the town's GP, who'd been suspicious of Eleanor's declining health during rare checkups. Eleanor called Clara from the ancient landline Lauren hadn't bothered to disconnect. "I need you," she whispered. Clara arrived within the hour, her face grim as she examined Eleanor's bruises and the blood-soaked bandage. "This is abuse, Eleanor," Clara said, her voice tight. "We're calling the sheriff." Eleanor handed her the letter and deed. "Not yet. Get this to Nathan first. He's in Portland, his office address is in the journal. Clara hesitated but nodded, slipping the documents into her bag. She helped Eleanor to her armchair, promising to return with help. Hours later, Lauren stormed in, eyes narrowing at Eleanor's calm demeanor. "What's that look for?" she snapped. Eleanor said nothing, her silence unnerving Lauren. The younger woman's phone buzzed. Carver, likely, but she ignored it, pacing like a caged animal. Nathan arrived that evening, his face ashen. Clara had reached him, and he'd read the letter. He confronted Lauren in the Manor's foyer, the journal and deed in his hands. "How could you?" he roared. Lauren's face twisted, her charm crumbling. "She's lying, Nathan. She's senile." But Nathan held up the journal, its pages filled with Eleanor's precise handwriting, dates, times, stolen funds, bruises. "This isn't senility. This is proof." Lauren lunged for the journal, but Nathan stepped back. "I trusted you," he said, voice breaking. Clara, who'd returned with the sheriff, stood in the doorway. Sheriff Dan Morales, a grizzled veteran, had already run Lauren's financials, tipped off by Clara. They showed thousands siphoned from Eleanor's account, funneled to Carver's firm. The sheriff cuffed Lauren as she screamed, "You can't do this. The house is mine." Eleanor, watching from her chair, whispered, "No, it's mine." The town of Crescent Bay buzzed with the scandal. Lauren was charged with elder abuse and fraud, her scheme with Carver unraveling as he turned informant to save himself. Nathan stayed at Cliffside Manor, guilt-ridden but determined to make amends. He hired a nurse funded by Eleanor's recovered savings and began repairs on the manor's sagging roof and cracked windows. Eleanor's health improved, her spirit reignited by the victory. She'd bled for this house, literally and figuratively, but she'd won. Yet the future wasn't certain. Carver's network ran deep, and whispers of his influence lingered in Crescent Bay's foggy streets. Some townsfolk, swayed by Lauren's charm before her arrest, cast suspicious glances at Eleanor, as if she'd orchestrated the drama. Nathan vowed to protect the manor, but his business in Portland pulled at him. Eleanor, now stronger, spent evenings in the library, the journal open before her. She added new notes, not of abuse but of hope, plans to turn the manor into a community haven, a library or shelter, to honor Thomas. One night, as the fog rolled in thicker than ever, Eleanor stood at the cliff's edge, the manor's lights glowing behind her. The ocean roared below, a reminder of the storm she'd weathered. Her arms still scarred, ached in the damp air, but her heart was steady. She'd survived Lauren's betrayal, her blood marking the cost of her fight. The manor was hers, and so was her story. She turned back to the house, its silhouette defiant against the mist. "This is home," she said aloud, her voice carrying over the waves. The fog swallowed her words, but a faint light broke through, a beacon of resilience. Eleanor Grayson, battered but unbroken, was ready for whatever came next.